Okay, that's how small we are in comparison to the rest of the world. Okay, so why is our capital market so small? All right, the reason why is because in the past the brokers will fend for themselves, diba? Right? So we have to make sure that we are always looking at it for the best interest of the customer. Because if you're not looking for it for the best interest of the customer, they will not benefit. Right? You might benefit in the short term, but the customer doesn't benefit. You guys will not benefit. Right? But by empowering you guys, you know what? This is what COL does. COL is for a richer life. Every Filipino deserves to be rich. What is that for? It is so that you guys can be able to have that empowerment to help other people in the future. You guys individually are the backbone of society. You guys are the next generation. That's why I asked what year you guys in. Most of you guys are in second year. Some of you forgot what year you're in. So the point of this is that you guys, one day, 10 years from now, you guys are, so if you guys are in your second year, how old are you guys? 20, not even? Diba? 10 years from now, you guys will be 30 years old. And you guys will have skills. You guys will have jobs. You guys will have that ability to be able to, a platform to share your skills and talents to other people. How do you do that if you are not empowered and equipped at an age that you are today? Okay, so this is why we have this program. Okay, before we have a program, we have 100 applicants, we take 10, 15. This year, they were significantly more ambitious and they took 700 applicants. Okay, so we want to be able to do this. So we picked the 24 here so that I can pick on you. That's the reason why you get the 24 of you guys are here. Okay, and we can have nice conversations like this. Okay, so let's start. First and foremost, I want to ask you guys, what is the stock market for you? Okay, so luckily for those who came in late, I'll ask you guys first. All right, Tristan, how you doing?
Hi, sir. I'm good.
What school you from?
I'm from Ateneo, sir, but I graduated now.
Oh, you graduated. Okay, so lucky I picked the one that graduated. Okay, what's the stock market for you?
Oh, well, sir, the stock market is where companies raise capital, first and foremost.
Wait. Tristan, hold on.
Sorry.
I didn't ask what's the stock market. I asked what is the stock market for you?
Well, for me, sir, it's personally, it's a place for me, like a lot of people. It's a place where we can turn in a profit. And it's, aside from that, it's a place where we can really learn to handle our emotions, because personally, the stock market is something that really humbled me the past few months.
Excellent. Okay, so excellent because of the honesty. I love that. Okay, so first is that he said was a place to make money. Yes, hopefully. Sadly, 85% of the people who participate in the stock market don't make money. So there's context to that. That's one. Second is that it's an emotional roller coaster, which I'm sure if you guys have watched Boss Edwards' presentation earlier, that's basically what he showed, right? Okay, so those are two things. All right, let's go ask some other people. How do you pronounce your name? Eros, is that how you pronounce your name?
Hello, sir. Good afternoon.
Hi, how you doing?
It's Eros po.
Eros, okay. What school are you from?
I'm from St. Louis University, Baguio City, sir.
Excellent. We're going there on Friday. Maybe I'll get to say hi to you. Okay. What is the stock market for you?
It's just as simple as a place of opportunities where it is a market wherein it's waiting for us to tap on those opportunities. That's why we are here. So those who are bold enough to exploit the opportunities are those who will be able to who will be able to succeed in this venture of trading.
Okay. There's one word that you said there that is the answer I'm looking for. Everything else you said there in that statement talks about everything else in life, by the way. So opportunities don't only come in the markets, opportunities come everywhere. So context lang, okay? So that's an excellent answer. What you were talking about was opportunities that people are willing to be bold enough to tap. That happens everywhere, but this just doesn't happen here in the stock market. Okay, so I just want to make that clear. But there's one word that you said, okay, that is what I wanted to talk about. Okay, and that word is market. Okay, what is that? What it parang the stock market is a marketplace. Do not forget. Okay, the reason why market is in the word stock market is because it is a marketplace. And a lot of people forget that. A lot of people forget that in a marketplace, certain things will happen. In a marketplace, items are exchanged. And it's the same in this field. It is an item that is being exchanged for another item. Bartering happens. You guys ever barter? You guys ever barter? What is barter in Tagalog? Tech, how you doing?
Hi.
A little dark over there.
Yeah. We just had a power outage and some of our lights aren't turning on still.
No worries, I can still see you.
Yeah.
All right, Tech. You ever
Barter.
barter?
That's I forgot the word in Tagalog, but that's when you haggle for prices.
All right. You ever do that?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, of
Where do
course.
we do that?
Huh?
Where do we do that?
Usually in places like in marketplaces like like Changge, I think
Okay,
that's what
so
you call it.
Changge, right? Changge, right? So whether
Yeah.
it's in Soria or Green Hills or any other place or stalls, diba?
Yes.
Ganyan. So that's one, right? What's the most
Yes.
common place that you guys barter on?
Facebook Marketplace maybe.
Facebook Marketplace. Exactly the answer I was looking for. How many of you guys say, look for stuff on Facebook Marketplace and ang tanong niyo, boss, magkano last price? Wala na bang tawad yan, boss? Magkano pag dalawa binili ko? You guys ever do that? Right? How different is that from the stock market? Think about it for a second. So you're exchanging your cash for someone else's item, correct? Right? So it's the same. You are exchanging your cash for ownership of shares of any company. Tama? Right? And it's the same. You're still trying to get the best price possible, correct? Right? You're still trying to see whether or not the opportunity is in place for this specific item or product. Tama? If there's going to be a potential demand for it. So example, why would you buy stuff on Facebook Messenger? So let's say, sino madalas bumili ng gamit dito sa Facebook Marketplace? Let's see. Let's ask some people who are, Royce, how you doing?
Hi, sir.
Bumibili ka ba ng gamit sa FB Marketplace?
Not really, sir.
Not really? Okay. Let's say you wanted to purchase something. Right? What were you looking for when you purchase something? Any item. I'm not saying stock. Any item in general. The first thing you look at.
Oh, me personally, I look for like whether or not I can use it for a long time.
Okay, so you're trying to look for qualitative or quantitative?
More of the qualitative, sir.
Qualitative, right? So when you're looking for items to purchase, whatever it may be, the first thing you look at is use case of it, right? So what are the things that you look for in terms of use case? Example. Bryce, help me out.
Oh, I don't know, sir.
I don't know. What are the questions you would ask yourself if you're going to purchase?
Yeah, I would look at durability, like if I can use it for a long time.
So longevity, right? So these are things that are tangible or not tangible?
I guess depends on the person. I don't know.
Right? But no, the reason why I ask is because this is the same question that you're asking yourself whenever you're purchasing any company. Right? remember that it's no different. What I'm trying to allow you to see is that these are the things that are the similarities between a market and the stock market. You understand? So there's the qualitative that you ask for. What else do you look at? So let's see, ask Francesca, how you doing? Nice to see you here.
Hi. For me, I don't really buy on Facebook, but I always I always compare prices between Shopee and Lazada. So
Exactly.
that's still looking at where I can get a cheaper option.
Right. So
Knowing that I'm getting the same thing. So yeah.
yeah, good. So yesterday was Shopee 6.6. Anyone, Lazada 6.6. Anyone do any shopping yesterday? No? Ako lang pala yung nagsha-shopping. Yes, EG, my man. Ako nagsha-shopping ako kahapon. Okay, what did I do? Look at voucher codes. Look at, what else? Look at comparison. I want to buy the same product. So between Shopee and Lazada. Tama? Right? Kahit 3 pesos difference. Sige, papatulan ko na kung saan mas mura, di ba? Right? Why? Why? Why do we want to buy things at a cheaper price? Doesn't that, it seems like a basic question, right? But I'm going to drive home a point. Why do we look at something? Why do we want to purchase something at a cheaper price? Who else have an eye? Erica. Hi, Erica. How you doing?
Hello, sir.
Ay, nag-shopping ka buka hapon?
Sorry, ano po yun?
Nag-shopping ka ba kahapon?
Hindi po.
Okay. Why would you like to purchase something at a cheaper price?
Well, you'll have more money to buy more stuff.
Okay, so one is that you're using your capital more efficiently. Tama? What else? Give me another reason why. Jethro, help me out.
Okay, I think for me, it's because you can get more value out of it.
All right, so you're looking at, so I'm tossing keywords out there: efficiency of capital, more value, bang for buck, value for your money, right?
Yeah.
Okay, who haven't I talked to? Alvin, give me one more.
So you have money to buy for other stuff, sir.
Yeah, so that we talked about the efficiency of capital. What's another reason why you feel like purchasing something at a cheaper price would help you?
Maybe, sir, so if one day you want to sell it, you'll have more profits.
All right, so that's the third thing. So you're talking about efficiency of capital. You're talking about being able to generate greater value for your money, and the last one is whether or not you would want to resell it in the future. The difference in being able to capitalize on the difference is your profit, correct? Right? So you see the similarities between that in terms of purchasing on a marketplace. That would be the same as the stock market, right? So remember, I asked these questions because all of these questions are the same questions you will be asking, and the similarities would be the same, right? So if I talk about the stock market without talking about the why these things work, I'm going to spend a lot of time talking about the why this afternoon, right? Everything will be about why. It's not about how it works. How it works, all these other coaches that will be teaching you the rest of the 3 weeks, trabaho nila yun, hindi ko trabaho yun. My job for you guys is for you guys to understand why certain things happen, not about how. Because if you understand the underlying driver of why things work, everything else, your basis of understanding is the foundation is solid. If I just tell you this is how MACD works, I mean, I talked to UP about this the other day. If I just taught you about how MACD works or how all of these indicators are created, you won't have the basic foundation of what you're doing. You cannot innovate. You cannot adapt to it. You cannot understand what the true meaning of what all of these indicators are telling you, right? So we start from why. Okay. All right. So if you are a seller, okay, we always look at it over the last, we've been talking for the last 10 minutes about the people purchasing, why you guys purchase stuff on the market. What if you are the seller? Have you guys ever considered that side of the business? All right. Have you guys ever sell anything on FB Marketplace? Anyone sell anything on FB Marketplace? Wala? Anong bebenta? Tagabili lang lahat ng tao? Sige. Marco, you ever sell anything in general?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What are you looking for when you're looking to sell a product?
I think I look at the profit, so like the profit margin. So how much I bought it for, then how much I'm able to sell it for, like the difference. So I need to make sure that at least I'm breaking even on what I'm selling, or
Okay.
as
Good.
much as possible make profit.
Good. So you're looking at the difference to how much your selling price is versus how much you purchased it. How many of you guys like to sell anything at a loss? Wala. Okay, neither do I, but it happens. Okay, right? You guys, so example, why do people sell things at a loss? Harold, why would you sell anything at a loss?
Para maubos na yung inventory.
Okay, why is that important?
To be able to maximize maybe storage space and your other capitals.
So one is opportunity cost, right? So if you are holding on to dead inventory, space, efficiency of capital, lahat yan nawawala, right? What else? Pierre. Hey, Pierre, how you doing? I haven't spoken to you yet. You're in the second screen. You're in my second screen, so I got to flip, right? Pierre, how you doing?
Hi, sir.
So, give me another reason why you would sell anything at a loss.
I'm in need of like capital immediately.
So we talked about that efficiency of capital. What else?
I can't think of anything else, sir.
Okay, let's see if we can get other people to help you out. How do you say your name? Abe? Is it Abe or Abe? How do I pronounce your name?
Yeah, it's Abe.
Abe. All right, Abe. Help me out here.
To prevent further losses.
Yes, excellent answer. Okay, so sometimes we know the value of something is deteriorating. Tama? So if the value of something is deteriorating, if you can get rid of it now, you're saving yourself from further price decline. Tama? Right? So these are all things that I'm tossing out there because these are all still critical in terms of how you would manage any position in the market. Correct? Okay, so who likes to sell things at a profit? All right, so I'm hoping everyone's hands up, right? Because I mean, what are we here for if that's not the case, right? All right, so Gabriel, help me out here. Okay, why would you like to sell something at a profit other than the profit?
So I get a return other than my capital. I make a profit. So I can spend it also on other things. Or use it to buy more inventory.
Okay, so it's being able to purchase new inventory.
Yeah, to reinvest, yeah.
Right? So the reason why I talk about that is because the reason is the same reason. Okay, how many of you guys, okay, let me just get a thumbs, like a reaction, hands up. How many of you guys actually trade the stock market? Like actually trade, not like the not the hands up, the hands up, thumbs up, yeah, thumbs up, that's the one. All right, how many of you guys actually trade the stock market? All right, so I got a few thumbs ups here. Okay, how many of you guys, okay, same people that thumbs up, okay, how many of you guys, if you make money, think that you can just lose it because you made it in the market? Okay, why is that interesting? Why is that so? Okay, Adrian, help me out here. You have a thumbs up here. Why is that interesting?
I guess for me, sir, it's still possible to lose that because market sentiment in the market can quickly change, and the Philippine stock market is very sentiment driven, so things can change very quickly.
That's like the diplomatic answer, right? That's a diplomatic answer. All right, give me a real answer here. Kyle. Okay, I got a hands up here. Marco.
Sir, I think I'm okay selling at a loss because there might be other better opportunities. So for example, if I have a stock that went down 50%, but at the same time I'm eyeing a stock that I think can go up 100%, I might take that loss to put it in a better opportunity.
No. What I meant to say is that if you're ahead, may buffer ka, kumita ka na, right? That buffer for you, pwede mo talunin yan. How many people have that mentality?
Oh, sorry, sir. Not me.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Okay, so again, how many people have that mentality? Can I have a thumbs up again? Wow, only 2 people. All right. Okay, Danny, help me out here. Why is that the case?
So I think because of greed. So if you earn a lot in the stock market, you tend to like put in more bets in it. So it's easier for you to lose it all as well.
Okay, so how many people here, excellent answer by the way. How many people here are more reckless when they're making money? They're willing to risk more. They're willing to take, they're willing to increase their the new position sizes. Only 3 people are willing to bet more when the markets are going, This is interesting. Okay, why do I ask this question? Kyle, why do I ask this question?
Because I think this is what the beginners actually do. Like, I think this is what people normally do, and that's why.
Driven by what?
Driven by sentiment. That's why, just like you said,
not sentiment.
Emotion.
Driven by emotions, right? Diba? Kasi kumikita kayo, yung mayabang tayo, diba? Dali lang pala ng stock market. Sige. Tapos if you make 2 consecutive winning trades, what happens? Confidence skyrockets, diba? Right? Then after that, you make a 3rd one and it's like you're Superman. It's like nobody can touch me. This market's so easy. Then the next thing you do is you call Gabriel and you tell him na, hey, bukas ka na account. Sobrang dali kumita ng pera dito sa stock market ito. Di ba? Kaya sa tuktok ng market, bubukas na account si Gabriel. Di ba? Right? Remember, this happens all the time. This is normal behavior of any individual and everybody, and I have to be upfront about it because it happens to everybody. This is a normal cycle. So when I asked that question and why Danny's answer was it was Danny's answer, right? Malabo na yung short-term memory ko eh. When you talk about selling at a profit, a lot of times the ideal situation is to be able to reinvest your capital, diba? To generate more opportunity in the future, right? But at the same time, that has to be understood that you have to continue to make calculated decisions moving forward, not emotional, reckless decisions, which we all normally subject ourselves to. You understand? So this is the sell side. There's a buying side. There's the selling side, right? Okay, wait. Give me a second lang. Okay, good. Luigi's here. Okay. Wait, where was I? Okay, so we talk about the market. A stock market is a market. Tama? All right. What is the driver of any market? What are the drivers for any market? What is okay, so who else haven't we spoken to yet? I speak to everybody already. All right. Eros. Is it Eros? Ano ba? Eros. Hi, Eros.
Hello, sir.
Did I pronounce your name correctly? I might butcher it the whole afternoon if I don't ask properly.
It's okay, sir. It's Eros.
Eros. Okay, Eros. What is the primary driver of any market?
I believe it's the investors themselves, the participants to the market.
Who are they? What do you refer to them as? participants of the market?
These are the sellers and the buyers.
Okay,
Wherein
and so when we refer to sellers and the buyers, right? In economic terms, what are these people called? Any econ majors here? Pierre, how you doing? Did you raise your hand?
No, sir, but
Okay.
I believe it is supply and demand.
Supply and demand. Okay. So remember, when you are looking at the market is dictated by supply and demand. Okay. And supply and demand dictate one thing. It is price. Price, price, price. Okay. So you have to remember that the market, so price, can be any other external factor. You can talk about market sentiment, you can talk about fundamentals, technicals, all of the mumbo jumbo that can drive anything. But at the bottom line, it is about price. So anything either drives supply or drives demand, one or the other, right? And if you can figure out if there is an excess in any direction, immediately you're ahead, right? So boss earlier, I'm sure, talked about priced in, like he throws these words out there, right? But the underlying reason is that people already, the amount of supply or the amount of demand at any given point in time, that it's taking in account for is being taken in account for in the price. Okay, so do not forget this. All right. So if there is excess demand at any given point in time, so what's an example of that? Let's use face masks. Anyone here wear a face mask? Alam may gusto umamin na nagfe-face mask sila. I hope you guys are all wearing your masks, okay? Even if you are fully vaccinated. A box of face masks last year, before the pandemic, cost 200 pesos a box. Hindi pa binibenta ni Sheena noon. Right? Okay. At the peak, nung binibentahan na ako ni Sheena, magkano niya binibenta sa akin? Does anyone know? Did you guys actually buy your own face mask or no? I hope it was provided for at the very least, right? You guys know how much a box of face masks at the peak cost? Anyone know? Wild guess? 800. Higher or lower? Higher. Kobe.
1,000.
Okay, higher or lower?
1,400 yung kahap. Ay, sorry. Hindi ko lang kami.
Nahuli tuloy ni Sheena magkano kung binili sa kanya. Okay. Went as high as about 1,400, 1,500 a box, right? Some sold outlier, maybe 2,000 a box. Okay. So what happens? What happened in that picture? What would drive the box of face masks to go up by 7-8 times its value? Think about that for a second. 7 to 8 times its value. So what happened there? Okay, Marco, what happened there?
Sir, because of the increase in demand, the supply and demand had to reach an equilibrium point in price, which is where the demand and suppliers were willing to sell and were willing to buy at.
Okay, so up to a certain point. Okay, wait, is there a limit to demand? Does demand normally have a limit? What do you think? Let me ask somebody. Erica, do you think demand has a limit?
Yes, I guess.
What does that mean when I say does demand have a limit? And why does it seem like I'm second guessing?
Yung naisip ko lang yung sa face mask is once the initial spike in demand, like the demand was like the feeling ko yung pinaka demand na for face mask is dahil nga sa pandemic. So yan na yung demand, and once the Parang yan na yung demand, and the supply, once the supply catches up, parang it's like, kaya bumagsak na ulit yung price.
I'm not talking about supply yet. I'm talking about just demand. Do you think that there's a possibility that demand eventually, there's a limit to demand somewhere? Eventually, tingin ko meron, di ba? I let people nod in their heads, right? Eventually, kasi ako nung binibenta ako ni Sheena ng face mask at 1.4, medyo nahirapan na ako eh. Di ba? Right? I mean, you're paying 7 times the value for a box of face mask than I was a month ago, right? Parang mahal naman na ito. Di ba? Right? And you have to use one every day. You gotta throw it out, di ba? Right? So it's once consumable. Parang ang mahal naman itong binibili ko, di ba? Right? So what's the point I'm trying to drive here? Up to a certain point, your capacity can only take so much. After a while, yung disposable na face mask hindi na disposable, di ba? Kasi sa sobrang mahal niya. Wala nakaintindi nun. Right? You know, so when before you're supposed to throw the face mask out, instead you don't throw it out, right? You wear it for the next week or more, right? Some people, they don't change their disposable face mask, right? Please, for those who are wearing disposable face masks, please try to replace them as often as possible. Okay? So what I'm trying to say is that demand normally has a capacity where if you are paying more, significantly more than the potential intrinsically value of that product, there is a capacity that an individual is willing to spend money up to, correct? So Erica touched on supply, right? So what happens to supply as prices are going up? Sorry, it seems like a very basic econ class, right? Right? But I gotta drive this home, okay? Because if I don't drive this home, you can talk about all the other things that the other coaches will talk about, but the foundation is not going to be on supply and demand, right? Okay, so we talk about supply. So my friend Kobe, you're an econ major, enlighten me about supply of face masks.
So when the price of a face mask goes up, companies that make face masks are going to make more of them because
the increase of production. Excellent. What else? There's 2 things. So one is increase of production, right? So increase of production, immediately what happens to price?
Lowers the price.
Well, at least doesn't go up as much, right?
Yeah, it slows it down and then
slows it down, right? If there is an oversupply, the price will
start going down.
Start going down. So there's a difference. So there is ample supply and oversupply, right? If the supply is just matching the demand, the price will not go down. If there is an excess amount of supply, the price can now come back down, right? Okay, so that's one. So people who are making the face mask can increase supply. What else? There's another one. Who else is an econ major here? Any other econ majors here? Hindi na kayo proud to be econ majors after I ask these questions? Ano pa ba? Tech. Help me out here. Who else? There's increase of supply by those who are making it. Is there an increase of supply elsewhere?
Increase in supply by the resellers selling them.
Excellent, right? So people like Sheena who are reselling, diba? Sorry, tulungan ko si Sheena. Totoo naman, binibenta niya ako ng face mask nung panahon niyon eh. Right? Okay, resellers, right? Okay, so the people who are reselling, why is that critical? Right? Because that increases the amount of supply that goes into the pie. So even if you in stocks, what happens? The people who purchase the mura, gagawin na hahagis nila. Right? Because there's a profit to be made. So even if you were purchasing those face masks at 500, 600 per box, tapos kailangan mo gamitin, pero someone's going to be buying it at 1.5, bebenta mo ba? Diba? You understand? I have excess. I bought 10 boxes at 500. Someone's buying me 1.5 per box. Ay, sige, itong 5, benta ko na muna. Right? You guys, does that make any sense? Diba? right? So this is part of any supply and demand relationship. This is where the supply and the demand come from, right? So what you're looking for is if there is an excess in either direction. Why does that help us? Why does an excess in either direction help us? Let's see. Harold, help me out here.
It kind of guides us, sir, on where the price is gonna go.
Why is that important?
So I guess we can time the market then on when to buy and when to sell.
All right. Do you want to be opposing the direction of supply or demand is the question.
No.
Why not?
Like, if it's going up, tapos you sell it, parang talo ka in a sense.
So there's an opportunity loss, right? Diba? Right? But there is one critical reason why it's very hard to go against any trend. What is that? What do you think is the reason why it's very hard to go against any trend? If the trend of prices continue to go higher, why is it that we want to? So one is opportunity loss. You sell it too early, no, sayang, diba? Opportunity loss. But there's something that is more interesting and why it's very difficult for us to time trading against the trend. What is that? Anyone want to jump in here and help me out? Abe, you have a guess?
Well, since everyone is on the on the boat to going up, so it's less likely for you to to profit if you're gonna go against the flow. So that's why if you're gonna go against it, it's like you're the only one in that boat that says it's going down. So that's what I'm feeling.
Well, yeah, it makes sense, diba? But not as So example, okay, why is that? That's an excellent answer, Erica. You won't know exactly where the price will eventually stop and reverse. Why is that? That's an excellent answer. Erica, help me out. Sorry, I know I'm picking on you. You're the one who answered, but I just want to get some more clarity. It's the best way for us to learn, right? Diba? Why is that? Why is it you don't know? Diba? Pag kina-calculate natin, ito naman ang fair value niyan, bakit hindi dyan tumitigil?
I think medyo kasi like sentiment driven na once like parang akit ng akit, people will think akit ng akit, so they're just gonna, you don't know when it's gonna stop like when parang
the word I'm looking for a specific word I'm looking for a specific word that answers that question right there, that clarifies that question right there. Why? Bakit hindi ko alam kung saan titigil? Right? What's that word I'm looking for? Adriel, help me out. It's the opposite of control. Tristan, it's the opposite of control. What am I looking for here? Not uncertainty. Not uncertainty. What causes prices to go up? It's unpredictable. It's absence of control. What are all these things? What is driving it? So greed is the name of this. So human nature, greed, all of this is driven by emotion, right? Driven by emotion. And emotion is rational or irrational? Irrational. Because prices are irrational, it doesn't need to make sense. You understand? It doesn't, like, have you ever purchased products na kailangan mo or parang feeling mo kailangan mo? Kahit anong presyo na lang, sige. Parang yung face mask na binili ko na 1.5, di ba? Right? Diba? Parang kailangan ko, kahit mahal, sige, bahala na. Right? That happens. And that happens directly in the stock market, whether you need it or not. And that is why we can't predict in either direction. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't need to make sense. The market doesn't need to make sense. And that is why we need so many factors. That is why we cannot just have fundamental analysis. Kasi kung fundamental analysis lang tayo, and don't get me wrong, fundamental analysis is incredibly important, right? But that's not the only reason why we need fundamental analysis. So fundamental analysis is understanding the value of any product. Remember, we talked about that for the buyers, about you're trying to purchase because of a specific value, right? So fundamental analysis tells you if something's expensive. Yes or no? Yes or no? Diba? So it can tell you if something's expensive. Okay, if it's expensive, will people stop buying it?
No.
Diba? So now you have to figure out, okay, it was expensive at 5, now it's 8. People still buying it. So what's the question we ask? Why are people buying it? How do you justify it? So we talked about quantitative and qualitative earlier. Right? So it can't be measured through quantitative because it doesn't make sense, right? So we have to figure out why in the world people are paying ridiculous prices for this product, even if it's so expensive. So you check the qualitative for whatever reason that may be. You understand? So how does that help you now, though? We're in no man's land, right? It was expensive at 5, now it's worth 20, now it's selling at 25. How do we justify it? How do we protect ourselves? Right? So now, this is where technical analysis comes in. Because technical analysis is your ability for you to be able to measure the behavior of price. Understand? That's why timing, market timing is important. If it is absent, what happens? What happens if market timing is absent? Royce, what happens if you have an absence of market timing?
Then you won't be able to act based on the price, sir.
So you're throwing darts. Bahala na kung saan lang ba't ko binibili ito. Gusto ko kasi, so bahala na kung anong presyo. So it's like throwing darts. It's random. Right? So there is a very significant difficulty when you are looking at price without understanding why the behavior of price is the way that it is. Okay? Market sentiment is the teeter-totter. Boss talked about that earlier, right? Understanding behaviors that recur. People asked me on the call the other day in the UP call, Kyle, remember? Like, this is the first time you've ever seen this. Diba? And I said, this is not the first time I've ever seen it, and it won't be the last time I've ever seen it. Right? Did you know that the Philippines goes through a 10 to 15% drop every year and a half? Every year and a half, the market drops by 10 to 15%. Did you put that in your calculations when you were trading? Diba? Right? So the reason why market sentiment is important is because that is what allows you to be able to dictate what part of the cycle that you're in. Right? Other macro factors, interest rates, commodities, forex, lahat yan, Jason will be talking to you about. Okay? And risk management. We talked about risk management so abundantly, right? But risk management is your seatbelt. Okay? So all 4 factors are incredibly critical. That's why we make a program like this, para you guys can have a glimpse of all of the factors that we put into place in addition to other things, right? So keep an open mind. Don't fall asleep in fundamentals, right? Because some of you will fall asleep in fundamentals, okay? Enjoy it, learn from it, spend time to be able to capitalize on what all of these coaches will be teaching you, okay? I'm not done. I haven't even started my presentation yet. Okay. First thing I want to talk about is first thing, no? We're like an hour in, first thing. Okay. I want to talk about valuing any stock. Sorry, not valuing any stock. Understanding how items can be measured in terms of their overall efficiency of value. Okay, so example. Let's say I have 2 bottles of alcohol or 2 bottles of water. If the price difference, so example, I have a Absolute water and I have an Evian water. Okay, anyone here drink Evian? No. Does anyone know what Evian is? No, I don't either. I don't know what it tastes like. Okay, Tech. Abe.
Hello.
Oh, hey, Tech. Umiinom ka ng Evian. You know how much more Evian costs rather than regular bottled Absolute water?
I don't drink Evian, but it's like 175 to 200 pesos.
Okay, how much is an Absolute bottle?
15.
Mahal naman ang Absolute bottle mo.
Ah,
Kano kalaki yun? 2 liters?
Yeah, the big one.
The big one, the big one. Akala ko yung maliit na bote. Okay.
No, those are like 10.
Okay, $10 versus 170. Why in the world do people pay 170 pesos more for a bottle of water?
Because they can, and they're just bougie like that. I mean,
okay.
Yeah.
Not the answer I was looking for, but okay. Okay, but can you so example, okay, I have an Evian and I have I have an Absolute and a Summit, right? Would you pay 50 pesos for a 10 peso bottle?
No.
No, why not?
Because I already have the option to pay for a 10 peso bottle. That's not really much of a difference.
Right? So can you value each bottle, the value of each intrinsic value of each bottle?
Not really. No.
I mean to say when I say
no,
value, it means when you're gonna purchase it, is it easy to value?
For me, yes, because
why?
the 50 peso bottle isn't as worth it as the 10 peso one for me.
Okay, so there is a basis of comparison, right?
Yes.
You have when we say comps, you have an ability to have comparables, right? To be able to say this bottle is worth this because most of the people are selling at this specific price, right? Intrinsic value, it's plastic, it's water inside, and a label out front, right? So generally people understand how to value it. Are there companies globally that are probably easier to value than others? Okay, so Jethro, help me out here. Let's say any company that has a distinct amount of sales, distinct amount of net income, right? Then it has a predictable business. Example, Pure Gold, who sells bottles of water and groceries and whatnot. Is it easier to predict their intrinsic value of a company like this? What do you think?
For me, yeah, because the products that they sell are part of the needs. There's already a built demand for the products that they sell, so it's easier to predict the demand for their products.
Right. So generally, like if they say, "Oh, I sold 50 cases of this product," you generally know how much they make, right? Diba? Hindi naman siya yung I make a product and then I don't know how many, like I sell it to 1 million people. I don't know how much can this guy really make, diba? So this is what we call 1+1 industry. You make for every product that you sell, you make for every product that you make, that's what you sell, right? So those are what we call 45-degree companies because all of these companies generally have predictable business. Understand? Okay, so what's the opposite? What's the other side of the coin? All right, so example. Anyone here purchase basketball cards? The other day I asked this in UP, nobody purchased basketball cards. Nobody here? No basketball cards? Wala? Wala. Man, tough crowd. Okay. Okay. Top shot or top shot? It's different. Top shot. Okay, help me out here. Okay.
Hello.
Okay. Yeah, help me out here. Okay, basketball cards. I have a LeBron James basketball card, rookie card. Okay, and I have a random dude's rookie card this year. Okay, that's not named LaMelo Ball. Okay, some random guys basketball card and LeBron James rookie card. What is the intrinsic value of the card?
LeBron James rookie card is worth more.
No, I asked the intrinsic value of it.
Like how much the LeBron James card
Okay,
is.
so what is it made out of?
Oh, like it's a card.
Yeah, it's made out of cardboard and some ink, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Tama? It's made out
Yes.
of cardboard and some ink. Okay. Now, one is probably worth 50 pesos. The other one is probably worth north of 100 grand.
Yeah.
Tama?
Yeah.
How can a piece of cardboard with ink on it have such a huge price differentiation?
It's the availability of that card and how much value people see in that specific type of card compared to the other one.
So is it easy or difficult to value?
Well, if people know who LeBron James is compared to the other rookie, they would know how much of a big difference they compare both of them.
Sure.
But if not, like it'd be hard to value them, like just by looking at the pictures of what the cards are.
So what's the point I'm trying to drive home is that there are certain products that are ridiculously difficult to value, correct? So you can talk about Top Shot or NFTs, right? Diba? So example, Jack Dorsey's first tweet. Who dictates how much that costs? I mean, who would want to buy a tweet in the first place? You can screenshot it and crop it and put hearts on it and it's yours, right? Diba? But understanding why I don't get why you would want to purchase a tweet, right? For whatever amount that it's sold for, but who values it? How do you value it? Right? Are there companies out there that are ridiculously difficult to value? What happens to the price action of all of these companies that are ridiculously difficult to value? Okay, so volatile is the key word, right? How come it's volatile? How come it's volatile? No, Gabriel, help me out. Why is it volatile?
Since it's really hard to value, I think people just want to buy it at any price they can, because it's like, if it's speculation, if the prices just keep going up, you don't know the value of it, you'll just buy because you think it'll go up higher.
So it's like throwing darts. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like throwing darts. Trying to value something which is so difficult to value is a fool's errand, right? You're wasting your time. I'm going to do all the fundamental analysis in terms of trying to do valuation on this, and you will never get an answer anywhere near what the price is. You can't justify it. It won't make sense. Okay, so these companies we call 90-degree companies because they're going up in 90-degree fashion. Understand? I have to explain these things to you in this manner because when you get to Charles, whenever Charles is presenting, he's going to be talking about 60 and 90-degree 45, 60, and 90-degree companies. So a 60-degree company, what is a 60-degree company? So we've talked about 90-degree companies that are going vertical, ridiculously hard to measure, more than likely doesn't have any earnings, and probably talks more about the qualitative. So it's what Tech said. It's because LeBron James's picture is on it, not some random dude, right? That's why people are willing to pay more for it, correct? Diba? So same thing. The qualitative reason why these guys are going up, that's the reason why it goes up 90 degrees. 45-degree companies, those are more easy to be able to predict. An absolute water bottle, right? Like you say, when I ask you, how much is this? No, you could generally say, oh, it's probably X amount of pesos. Like, it's easier to value. Understand? Those will move in 45-degree fashions. Okay? 60 degrees. What is 60 degrees? And why is there 60 degrees? Okay. We talked about the 45 and the 9. What's 60 degrees? Anyone help me out here? Alvin, help me out here. What do you think 60 degrees is? The mature companies are 45 degrees. That's what Boss was saying earlier, right? So what is a 60-degree company?
Probably somewhere in the middle. Like some of their businesses can be valued, but then some cannot be valued as easily.
So you do have a ability to have a benchmark somewhere, right?
Yes, sir.
So normally what I think it was asked earlier was you compare it to itself. Historically, how much more is growing from the prior year, diba? There is some semblance of earnings, but it's not as mature as most of like Pure Gold and SF, diba? Right? So these companies will continue to grow fast and they will go up in a manner where, so when you talk about young growth, a lot of young growth companies actually are 60 degrees. Kaya may growth eh, diba? 90-degree companies normally are speculation where there is no growth. It's just a qualitative reason. Okay? So a lot of companies that are 60 degrees are what we call, are not 1 plus 1. It's 1 plus 10, 1 plus 20. So example, software companies, right? So software companies, you build the software once and you sell it to millions of people, right? So that's somewhere in between. You understand? Okay, so those are the things that we have to be looking for when we're trying to look for predictors of price. Okay, so what have we talked about so far? We talked about what drives markets, supply and demand, and specific kinds of companies that you guys will be looking at. All right. Okay, so I'm going to jump into my presentation. Took me an hour just chit-chatting with you guys. Sorry if my presentations are not as useful as everyone else's presentation. I didn't even change the name. Okay, bahala na. Okay. All right, we'll talk about trading system. So trading system, kasi we normally talk about this and the importance of this because this is where the basis of all of your decision making eventually will be needed. Okay, so without a trading system, what happens? Traders will feel like it's just a bunch of Lego bricks. Okay, so bakit Lego bricks, right? And when you get Lego bricks, what happens normally? Alvin, what do you do when you get Lego bricks?
Collect more and more so you can build better stuff. Sir.
That's what you do when I give you Lego bricks, is just to collect them. How you do? Nathan. Hey, Nathan, how you doing? Who's Nathan?
Hello.
Hey, Nathan, how you doing?
Hello. I would probably use the bricks to build something.
Build something, right? Do you have a basis of comparison? What do you base it off of?
The thing I'm gonna build.
Yeah.
A blueprint.
Now, what is it normally? Is that important?
Sir, I don't quite understand, sir.
So yeah, let's see if someone else can. Hazel, help me out here. Yeah, you. Okay, if you get a bunch of Lego bricks and you're gonna build something, do you normally have something to base what you're gonna build off of, or you just start building out of nowhere?
I'm personally creative, so I maybe making my own imagination.
Okay, so imagination, right? So normally when you guys start trading and you're given tools, example, you join a seminar or you listen to COL's stuff online, you just go out there guns blazing and then bahala na mangyayari, diba? Is that how it feels when you're a new trader? Right? So that's what happens to us, is that we're given a lot of tools, we're given a lot of bricks with nothing to, we don't have any image of the box, right? We're not given a box to see that this is what we have to be able to benchmark or copy or anything. Wala. It's just, these are the tools, figure out how it works. How does that normally end up? How does that normally end up? Tristan, how does that normally end up?
It's not very, you can't really tell what it is. It's not very nice, I guess.
Why? Why is that the case?
Because you had no plan in the beginning. So you're just kind of putting bricks on top of the other.
Right? So parang bahala na, shotgun na lang. Tingnan natin kung ano mangyari dito. Right? So what happens? When we look in the box, what happens? There's no instructions. Nobody tells you how all of these things, bricks work together. Do you know? Diba? So the problem of traders generally is that they're given a lot of tools. They got to figure it out themselves without any instructions or anything to benchmark yourself off of. How many? Can you guys give me a thumbs up if you guys feel that way? If you guys would be feeling that way. Right? It's difficult, right? I know because I was a trader. I was young once, and I also traded that way, right? That parang, and the thing here is that you don't actually realize it. What does that mean? You don't actually realize it. Sorry, I lost my names there. Give me a second. So it's hard for me to call people out. Okay. Let's see if I can get names here. All right, you guys are gonna have to help me now because I don't have any names. Okay. It's difficult, right? So but why do I say now you don't realize that you don't know? You don't know that you don't know what you're doing. Why does it feel like that? Abe, help me out here. Why does it feel like that?
Well, it's because, since you don't have a system as to how you're doing it, it's like you're just telling yourself that, it's just by instinct that you just keep doing it and doing it.
How many of you guys feel like you're trading based off of instinct? Can I get a thumbs up? How many of you guys feel like you're trading based off of instinct? No, only Abe is trading based off of instinct. Everyone else, what do you use to trade if it's not off of instinct? You actually know how all the pieces work together? Is that how it works? Right. So you have missing instructions. We have no image on the box. What do we do? So let's start here. I'm gonna ask you guys a question. Objective of a trader is what? Can you type it in the chat box? Honest answer. I want everybody to type their answer in the chat box. Instinctively, if I ask this question, what is the answer? Okay, so some people went to my call the other day, and some people, some people are honestly answering the question, which is most people will come here. Most of you guys came here. If I ask this question, your answer is to make money, right? Most people will be like, that's why I'm here. Is there any other reason why I would be in the market if not to make money? No? But here's the thing. If you are just here to make money, are you willing to compromise to make money? Wow, what a question, right? Are you willing to compromise to make money? So, why this is important is because the stock market or anything that you will be doing in your life, it might not be in the market, but you have to remember it is an infinite game. Anyone here watch Simon Sinek? I hope some of you guys here watch Simon. I love Simon Sinek. Yeah, I always go back to him. And he talks about finite versus infinite. So one of his books is actually The Infinite Game. Okay. And the thought process of that is that life is a marathon, not a sprint. So do you compromise on a trade on a short term? Sorry, you compromise in the trade, you compromise to make money in the short term, but you compromise what you will do in the future, or what you can potentially do in the future. or maybe you're in denial that you're compromising. Right? Are you willing just to make money? Right? And it doesn't matter how I do it. Right? So I want to toss all of these questions out there because it's an important question to ask. It's because it's not just about making money, it's how you plan on making the money that is important. Because it's a marathon, not a sprint. Okay? So anything that you will be doing, you have to remember, it is infinite game. This is not finite. Because if you make money in a trade today, don't you have to trade again tomorrow? And the day after that? And the day after that? And what happens if you make money and you compromise today to make your money? What happens to the trade tomorrow? For example, what's the best form of compromise in trading for those who trade? You just type it in the box. What's the most common form of compromising in your trade? Not cutting losses and all in na tayo. Tama? Right? All in. Diba? So, you might get away with it today. How do you feel after you get away with it? Mita ka, so syempre you feel good, diba? Right? Okay. So what do you do tomorrow? So nag-all-in ka, kumita ka. The next day, what do you do? Of course you do the same thing. And then the one day you don't get away with it, what happens? Right? It's when you lose your pants. Tama? So remember, trading isn't about the next trade or this trade. It's not about that. Trading is about replicating trades. Okay? Sorry, medyo maano yung box ko dito. Replicating trades by following their trading system. The byproduct is a probabilistic system that will make money. Okay, keyword being replicate and keyword being probabilistic. What is that? Why is probabilistic important? Okay, let me see what we got here. Okay, I'm out of names. I don't have any names on my so I'm just gonna go shotgun and see if I can remember names earlier. Erica, sorry, I called on you before. I'm gonna call on you again. Okay. When I say replicate, sorry, what did I say? If I say replicate, what do I mean by probabilistic? What do I mean by probabilistic, and why is that important?
I think it means that there's no certainty. You don't know for sure if that trade is gonna work.
Okay.
But then over a series of trades, you have confidence that eventually you'll end up with a net gain.
Exactly. Okay. Okay. My best traders. Wild guess. Out of 10 trades, how many are there? How many are right? The best ones on average. Say on a month-to-month basis. What do you think? So how many percent? %20. Wow, man, you have very little faith in my traders. 2 out of 10. It's very hard to make money when you're only right 2 out of 10 times. I mean, let's be honest here. Okay. Okay. My best traders average 45%. That's a good number. That's a good number. So 45 out of 100 trades on average are winning trades. So how do you make a trading system that you're only right 45% of the time? That means you're wrong for 55% of the time, right? That means you're wrong more often than you are right. How do you survive? How does that even does it even make sense? Does that even make sense? All right, so Gabriel says, and Marco says, you lose small on the losers, but win big on the winners. Okay, so we talk about hit ratio and edge ratio. Hit ratio is how many out of 100 trades, how many are profitable, right? So it's winning trades over total trades. Right? Edge ratio has to go hand in hand with hit ratio. So edge ratio is your average winner over your average loser. Okay, so if you lose $1, how many more every time you win? Okay, so normally my traders are shooting for what we call a 2 times edge ratio. Okay, so that means that your every winner is double every loser in terms of value. So if you lose $1, you want your winners to be at least $2. Can that be controlled? It can be. Okay, so they will talk about that later. The other coaches will talk about that later. But this is essentially what we're talking about. This is a probabilistic trading system. It's net exposited expectancy trading system. Okay, and without it, what happens? You're throwing darts. Understand? Okay, next, replicate. Why is replicate an important? Jethro, why is replicate an important? The word replicate important?
I think it's important because you're just gonna do what other traders have done. Is that correct?
Okay, other traders.
Not sure.
Other traders. Okay, not necessarily other traders. I have 40 traders on my team. All 40 do not trade exactly the same. Okay, so what are we benchmarking off of when you do not trade the same? Diba? All right. So what are you trying to replicate? You're trying to replicate whose trick? Other
previous wins.
Not just previous wins. Not just previous wins. What are you trying to replicate? You're trying to replicate all of your trades, even the losers.
Losers. Okay.
Is that okay? Think about that for a second. Why is it important to replicate your losers? Is it important?
Yeah.
Why is it important to replicate your losers?
I think so you can also understand which trends result to losses instead of just focusing on the wins.
So that's a good, but I think Francesca said it best. You don't replicate the same mistakes over and over again. That's one excellent answer. What else? I gotta get better now. Practice risk management. That's a different. No, that's a constant, Gabriel. Risk management is a constant. It cannot be a no. Right? What other reason why we want to replicate our losers? Okay, Pierre says it builds good habits and discipline. I need a. Remember, 55% of the 100 trade, 55 out of the 100 trades are losers. Isn't it important that? So Eric, you don't know when a trade will be a winner or a loser when you enter based on your criteria. You actually don't know whether you will be right or wrong when you enter it. But when you're wrong, you also know the potential outcome. Is that important? Absolutely important. The one thing that is in your control is your risk. That is the only thing in your control. And it can be replicated. Use it to your advantage. Okay? Good. Okay. One of our favorite memes of all time, right? Who likes this meme? Nobody likes this meme? All right. Only Tech and Hazel like this meme. All right. So Tech, help me out here.
Hello.
What does this mean?
You don't stick to your plan. You just listen to other people's opinions based on.
Exactly. How often does this happen?
Well, if you're not disciplined most of the time, you just
right. And this is why 85% of people lose money in the market. Because they're not focused on their plan, which they set out to do. They're focused on what everyone else is doing. Right? Boss will say all the time, when the lights go on, all bets are off. And by not following your plan, what happens? Is anything replicable? Do you have a rush of different emotions that will cause roller coasters in your decision making? Right? Remember, why a trading system is so critical is because it holds you accountable to do certain things. Because the moment that you deviate, you know what you are working hard for gets thrown into the trash. I will use those words over and over again later on. Accountability, ownership, fulfillment, benchmarking, replicability. And all of them all point to the same thing, to replicate your trades over and over and over again. Okay. We talk about best and worst trade all the time in all of our review. Okay. I want you guys to write down in the chat box, what is your best trade? How do you identify your best trade? No one knows how to identify it. It's not that hard. Let's not overthink it. Okay. So it's either your largest gains or the one that Gabriel said was, I followed my plan. Yeah, Danny said you follow your entry and your exit. Okay. So the best trade is the one that you followed your plan. That means that all the other trades you didn't follow your plan. Think about that for a second. If your best trade is the one that you followed your plan, all the other trades you didn't follow your plan. Does that work? That's the most common answer I get. I ask this question all the time. And that's the most common. The one that you followed your entry and your exit. That means that all the other trades you didn't follow your entry and your exit. Is there a problem there? The standard of a trader, you always have to follow your plan, regardless of the winner and the loser. You want to be a good trader? Boils down to that. Everything else is an input. Okay, what does that mean? There are things that you input, your decision making. Those are things are inputs, right? But the system is constant. The way you execute should always be constant, regardless of the input. Okay? Good? Okay, so how do we do this? Is your empty Lego box, right? Diba? You get your Lego bricks, you got an empty Lego box. What's the first thing you gotta do? You have to commit to what that image is. Whatever it is, it doesn't matter how small, shallow, you know, this is what mine is. But get a bunch of Lego bricks in front of me. What do first thing I do? I'm going to make a house. Okay. Is the house all beautiful? How many of you guys think my house is beautiful? You guys are liars, okay? It's liars. Okay. My house is what I just thought it would be. That's it. And that's good enough. I made a house. Okay. So the question is not whether my house is beautiful or not. So when you're a beginning trader, it is not, I don't expect you to make a mansion out of the Lego bricks that are put in front of you. I hope that you can just make a constant house, right? And the objective is what? You make a house, you make it again, you make it again, right? What happens if you can replicate trades? What then happens? No matter how shallow they are, they might be simple trades. What happens? Russell, where's Russell? What happens when you replicate trades? Russell there? No, hindi na pinansin ni Russell. Okay, Marco, what happens when you replicate trades?
So you can do the same system over and over again.
Why is that important?
So at least you're consistent. So you're not just throwing blind darts, but you're following something that has proven to work already in the past.
Okay, so that's one reason why that's important. But there's actually even more critical reason. Okay, expectations. What else? Let's see. Who else can help me out here? Danny, help me out here.
Gamble and more of like an assessed risk already.
Assess, again, assess risk. Again.
You already get to assess the risk and reward, so it becomes more strategic as opposed to uh more gambling and like just putting it all in.
So you have constants, right? And when you have constants, there are things that are good about it, and there are things that are not good about it. So like what Kyle said, you can know where you are wrong and where to improve, right? So slowly these houses maybe make an adjustment. So my house, you liars over there, told me that my house was so beautiful. I now have a front porch, right? So I make adjustment. All of a sudden, my house is now yellow and has a front porch because I could add that, right? Because I can now add on to my trading system because I have experience on the things that I've learned, right? The next one, maybe I'll add a second floor, right? It's a constant adjustment. Understand what are the strengths and the weakness of the system, right? And eventually, maybe my house is beautiful, right? So you do not get to a perfect, there is no perfect trading system. If you guys think that there's an all-encompassing trading system, you guys are mistaken. There's none. But the best system, people ask me all the time, what's the best trading system? The best trading system is the one that you can trade, that fits your personality, right? If you're don't know how to do fundamental analysis, and I tell you the best system is the one that does the most fundamental analysis, how many of you guys are going to be able to replicate it? You understand? So it's like a vaccine. The best vaccine is the one that goes in your body, right? You can argue about all the other vaccines, but the reality is the best one is the one that goes into your body, right? So it's the same. It's the one that you can handle, the one that you are willing to commit to ownership, allow yourself to make mistakes, allow yourself to grow, and the one that you make your own. We'll talk about that later on. Okay. So parts of the trading system. All right. What are things we're looking at? Benchmarking. Without a picture on the box, what happens? What happens if we have no picture on the box? Scobie, what happens if there's no picture on the box?
We won't even know where to begin working on it.
So it starts there. Put a picture on the box. Because the moment that you have a picture on the box, now you can refer to it. Now you can go back and say, hey, I am deviating away from what I wanted to do. You cannot replicate if you don't have a place to be able to benchmark off of. This is important. Okay, that's one. Second, replicability. I talk about replicability all the time, but what I want to emphasize in replicability is making consistent, good trading habits. Okay. The moment that you deviate away from your trading system is the moment that you're willing to compromise. And if you make money when you compromise, what will happen? Here, what's going to happen if you make money on your trading system and you compromise?
You would think that it's okay to compromise again.
Exactly. And these are part of building bad trading habits. Understand that. If you can't replicate it, you got lucky. And no matter how much money you made, if you think na kaya mo ulitin yan, you're making a big mistake. Right? The best traders in the world can replicate their trades. I will review all my traders' trades all the time. And when I review with them, the first thing that I look at, pare-pareho ba itsura ng mga yan? Kasi if they're all over the place, what happens? There's nothing to build off of. There's nothing to replicate. There's nothing to benchmark off of. You have no base of comparison for anything. And it's a struggle. And then they'll come back and ask me, how come it's so difficult for me to make money? Like, well, there's nothing for you to benchmark off of. What are we comparing ourselves to? Is it just you're just learning how to use all the pieces? Diba? Okay. Expectations, like what Gabriel said earlier. Why are expectations important? Gabriel, why are expectations important? You said this.
So you know like where you fall short, and then also like if your trading system is working, like if you expect this and it happens, then you know that your system is working or if it's not working.
It's so important. You don't go out there thinking that you can make a 5-bagger on SM, right? Okay, so what that means is that you don't think SM is going to go up 5 times its value in the short term, right? Carry the proper expectations for your trades. Be reasonable, okay? I had a question the other day on my call was, I'm a very positive thinker. Shouldn't I be thinking that every trade should make money? Come on, let's be real. Let's be realistic here. Yes, I'm also a very positive thinker, by the way, right? But let's be realistic at the same time, okay? All right, next, scalability. Wow, first time this word has come up. What does this mean? Alvin, what does scalability mean?
Also, example, sir, you have a trading system that earns you 10% profit every X months. But one day when you want to improve it, you can just tweak some parts and then fit it to your new trading system to have more returns.
So if you want to increase your portfolio size, it's easier for you to increase because you have a standard to increase from. What happens if you make money throwing darts? I had a question the other day, right? Wait, sorry, hold that thought, Alvin, okay? I had a question the other day, and this person asked, my friend has an excellent trading system. Like, he trades everything by hunch and he's wildly profitable. Remember that, Kyle? Remember that question? Right? So right? And then they asked me, should they change? And my answer to them was, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But here's the thing. Can you scale it? If everything is by hunch. How easy is it to scale? To increase your portfolio by 100%, even 100%, 50%. Kaya mo bang gawin? So Alvin, what you're saying? Sorry.
Oh, sir, I was just gonna say that method is not scalable because eventually the probabilities will work against you. So, yeah.
So that's one, right? So in terms of scalability, that's one. Okay. The other thing, and I want you guys to understand this, is what if your current portfolios were 100 times bigger than your current portfolio? And you had, I mean, that's the goal, right? You guys came in here, I asked that question. What's your objective? Everyone's like, make money. So that's what you want to happen, right? You want your portfolios to be 100 times bigger than your current portfolio. Yes or no? Yes. Okay. If you guys, I'm hoping everyone's nodding their head, right? So since that's what you want, would you make the trades that you're making today if your portfolio was 100 times bigger than it is today? Would you make the same trades? So sometimes all-in ka. Sige, all-in tayo sa trade na to. You make that all-in trade, right? And then would you do the same all-in trade if your portfolio was 100 times bigger than your current? You compromise, di ka nag-cut loss ngayon. Would you make that same trade? Right? This is how you hold yourself accountable. You can hold yourself accountable by understanding that the ability for you to scale one day, my portfolio will be 100 times bigger than it currently is. And if I make that same trades today, I would make it, I should be making it if it was 100 times bigger. That's the mentality you have to carry. That's how you build a trading system. You won't be afraid. You can sleep at night, right? There's no ego. There's no FOMO. All of those factors that people toss in there, nawawala lahat because you have a constant confidence in your trading system and you don't compromise. And one day, the dream is to get 100, more than 100 times more, right? That's the dream. Okay? Good. Next. Ownership. Big word, ownership. Why is ownership important? Let's ask some people over here. Well, so Nathan, where's Nathan? Is Nathan there? Hindi pa tawag si Nathan pero hindi siya sumasagot sa akin.
Hello?
Yo, Nathan, what's going on?
Sorry, I actually didn't know I was being called earlier because there was no power here, so I was using.
No worries. I don't have a problem. With power, without power. Okay. Why is ownership important?
So I guess you can call the trading that system that you're using yours.
Why is that important?
So like if it's consistent, and then you can keep using it again and again for consistent results.
Yeah, but it doesn't really answer the question of why ownership is so important. Why else is ownership? Let's see if you can get some help over here. Where's Russell? Russell, where's Russell? Is Russell here now?
Hi.
What's going on, Russell?
Doing good. I think it's for mostly accountability. So, like if you lose on your trade, you should own it. Not you didn't follow your trading system, or maybe you followed your trading system and it didn't work. So you might have to adjust to it.
Okay. So we have a few people say accountability. How many of you guys trade other people's trading system, and when you make a mistake, you blame the other guy? Sarap ng tawa ni Jordan. Right? There's so many people that say, pahingin ng tip naman dyan. Pag binigay mo sila, pag natalo sila, they'll come back to you and say, kung may kasalanan, natalo ako eh. Right? How do you grow if that is the mentality that you're carrying? By blaming other people for the actions that you decided on. Right? You see how important that is? No, there's no blame game here. It's you. You made the decision. You entered that order. You got to follow through. Right? It allows you to grow. It allows you to improve. It allows you to make adjustments. It allows you to learn. It allows you to be better tomorrow than you are today. But without ownership, you'll never have that. Right? So the first one is accountability. What else? Innovation. This is where does this fall into place when you have innovation? Tristan, where's Tristan?
Here, sir.
Okay, Tristan. Innovation. How does innovation fall into the place with ownership?
I think as one of us said earlier, you can improve your trading system based on what you see, and at the same time, like what you said, sir, since it has to be scalable. If you have a bigger capital, if you have a bigger account, your emotions change depending on the position size you're going to put. So you're going to need, I guess, maybe a different kind of style, not exactly like what you were using when you were putting in, let's say, 50,000 compared to putting in 500,000 in your trade.
All right. So being able to now, if you are not the owner of your trading system and it's someone else's, how do you innovate it? You know how it works? You just give it to you, right? Right? Like a lot of people are, this is a great to know. A lot of people ask, my people, they don't do more than what they're asked. Right? Like you hear that all the time. Why don't my people do more than what they're asked? Right? The reason why is because they have no semblance of ownership with what they're doing. These people this is what you have to do, this, in this order, in that manner. How are they supposed to innovate when it's not theirs? How do you make adjustments? Right? You can't. You have no semblance of idea of how it works. Kasi binigay sa'yo, ito yung kailangan mong gawin. Pag nag-deviate ka, baka pagalitan ka pa. Right? In trading, in your trading system, ownership is so critical because it is the only way for you to make adjustments. And if you're taking someone else's system, you can't make squat of an adjustment because you don't know how it works. You can't learn from it. Last one. I think it's the last one. Fulfillment. Wow. Okay, fulfillment. Let's ask some other friends over here. Here, fulfillment. Why is fulfillment important?
Because it gives you the reason to continue what you're doing. That's just for me lang, sir.
It's so important. you guys have to understand how important that is. If you're doing something that someone told you to do, what kind of fulfillment do you get out of that? You understand? Ability to achieve greater things that you never thought you were capable of doing. Right? All of these things you will not have if it's not yours. Right? Remember, what you guys are all doing here is not because of what other people have allowed you to do. Boss says it all the time. Boss says this all the time. He talked about this with Bo Sanchez and everybody else that he's taught. Right? And then they will go back to him and say, dahil sa'yo, kaya I am who I am today, of how I did this and that. And you know what boss says all the time? Not true. You know why? Because he shares the same thing to millions of people. How many of them were able to capitalize? You understand? Right? So as much as what you are learning here in this internship program, as much as what you're learning here, we can only bring the horse to the water, but we cannot make you drink. You understand? You have to do your part. And if you do that part, that sense of achievement and fulfillment continues to will present itself. And you'll desire it more and more. And you will sacrifice, you will commit, you will make the adjustments and the improvements that you need to make in order for you to improve and to grow. That is why ownership is important. Okay? Okay. Dami yung comic strips here. Find out exactly how many ways there are to skin a cat. Okay. How is this cartoon applicable to what we've been talking about today? About trading systems. How is it applicable? Many ways to make money, right? I have 40 traders, and all 40 trade differently. So you trade the way that it fit for you, fit for your personality, fit for the tools that you have. A lot of you guys don't have my experience. You cannot trade like me because you have not seen the things I have seen, correct? Diba? So do I expect you to go out there and trade the way that I trade if you have not experienced the things I've experienced? I've been trading since I was 16 years old. I am closer to 40 than I am to 16. Okay, so I've been trading for a very long time. Okay, I've lost a lot of money in between. Right? So I cannot have the same expectations for you that I would for myself. So what do? We work with what we have and make the most out of it. And you grow from there. Okay, trading we will give you the tools that we can give you, but you have to work with the Lego pieces that are sitting in front of you. And you do not have to use all the Lego pieces, by the way. That's what's important. Okay? A lot of people think more is better. So I had a call the other day. In our call the other day, my indicators are telling me conflicting. What do I do? Isn't that a good question? My trading indicators are telling me two different things. Which one do I follow? Do I have a hierarchy? What do I do? And I told them, you're using too many indicators. That was the answer. Figure out what your objective is, how you want to make your money, and choose the indicators that would fit that style. Choose indicators that will help you make better decisions. If you have conflicting indicators, it means that you're using the indicators that you're using are for the wrong purpose, or you have too many. Okay. Okay, we talked about the Keelan framework. Boss talked about the Keelan framework earlier. I'm not going to spend too much time on it because the team's going to spend the rest of the 3 weeks with you guys talking about this. Okay, just know FTSR, system components, idea generation. Where are you getting your inputs from? It has to be in this order. Where are you getting your ideas from? Is the source constant? Is it this Facebook group na panay basura lang paulit-ulit yung binibigay sa akin? Where is it coming from? How do I qualify it? Am I dependent on other people to get me these ideas? Right? Find a way to be able to generate your ideas on your own. It helps a boatload. That's why we teach fundamentals and market sentiment. Okay? Next, market timing. Right? So technical analysis, I'm sure a lot of you guys are looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun. Those guys who will be training you are very seasoned and very excited for you guys to learn from these guys. And market timing and technical analysis is just a study of price. Don't forget that. Okay? It's not the study of technical indicators. It's not that's not the study of RSI, and it's not the study of Bollinger Bands or Fibonacci. It's the study of market price. Everything, all your indicators are lagging indicators. Every single one. There is not, the only indicator that is leading is price. Everything else is lagging. What I did for asked my interns to do in the past was to go in there and to evaluate and to tell me why each indicator works. We went through so many, probably like 60 different indicators, right? Ichimoku, Williams percent R, all of the mumbo jumbo indicators. We went through all of them. And the common denominator, they're all based either on price or volume. So every indicator is supplementary, not even complementary. Okay? Risk management. Without risk management, you lose your pants. Brian will talk about it extensively. But you can be so good at fundamentals, you can be so good at market sentiment, you can be excellent in technical analysis. But if you do not have risk management, you still will not make money. Because it takes one mistake to wipe you out. Okay, for those who want to learn more about it, I have a COL financial YouTube video that talks about the foundation of a trader. That's a good watch. Okay. Trade management, number 3. Do you follow are you chasing prices? Are you cutting losses at the proper place? Are you willing to compromise at certain points in time? Did you deviate away from your plan? Do you hold yourself accountable to doing this? All of these are part of trade management. Okay. Last, review. How many of you traders, honest answer, do not ever look at your trades after you traded it? Can I get a thumbs up on those who have not looked at their past trades after they've traded it? Can I get an honest answer? How many of you guys here? Can I get a thumbs up, please? Okay, a lot of you guys, and I would expect so. Normal for young traders, because if you do not have a benchmark, you have no basis of comparison. If you're going to go back and review, what are we reviewing? Diba? This is why it's important. You do not grow if you do not review. You do not reflect on your prior trades. The one thing we spent on in 2019 was a huge database just for our traders to learn from their trades. You have data analytics, hit ratios, edge ratios, turn ratios, all of the other average gain, loss, all of those things are all in place. Allow us to grow and learn from what we are doing. If you don't reflect and review on your trading, you're never going to grow because you'll make the same mistake over and over again. Okay? All of these, idea gen, you rate yourself out of 10. How many? So normally when I rate myself out of 10, especially for technicals, it's if I see this chart 10 times, how many times would I trade it? Diba? Most of the time, traders are like, that's a unicorn. I would never see. A 10 is like a unicorn. I would never see it. Diba? Let's be honest here. Let's be realistic. If I see this trade 10 times, I would hit it every single time. That's a 10. Right? So be honest with yourself how you look at your trades. Same thing with idea gen. If I get an idea, out of 10 ideas, would I want to capitalize on this idea? Rate yourself. Every single trade, you rate it. Your trade management. How did my trade management go? Oh, Price is gapped up. I didn't adjust my size. 6 out of 10, right? If your trade management was end to end, really good, 10 out of 10. Even the selling is part of trade management. Okay, right? Even your review you rate out of 10. Did I review to the most honest manner? But yung review mo, rate it. Did I review properly? So even your review needs a review. Happens. Am I asking the right questions? Diba? Okay. Right. Trading system. This is stolen from, sorry, stolen is not the appropriate word. This was borrowed. This was inspired by Adam Khou's Piranha Profits. We met him directly, great guy. Also nice watch on YouTube. And if you look at this pie, what they will be teaching you over the next 3 weeks is only worth 10% of the entire pie. What? Want to be a successful trader? The tools that you're learning how to use, that's only 10%. The one day that Brian will be teaching you is worth 30% of the entire pie. Could you believe that? We allocated 1 day to it. 60% of the pie is the trading system. Mentality, mindset, discipline, ability for you to follow through on your plan, to replicate what you're doing. When we say psychological and emotional mastery, what are the words that jump out of the page? Can you type them in the chat box? What are the words that jump in the page? When you say psychological emotion, what are emotions that are common pitfalls that jump off the page? They're normally in acronyms, right? So FOMO, right? For the first time the other day, I heard the letters FUD, F-U-D. Okay, they had to teach me what FUD was the other day, right? Okay, apparently FUD is fear of uncertainty and fear of Gabriel, not Gabriel, Kyle, what was that? FUD is what? Fear of uncertainty and
uncertainty and doubt.
And doubt. What a joke, right? If you're afraid of uncertainty and doubt, man, you shouldn't be alive. Simple. How do you go out of the door when you have FUD? How do they say it as FUD? But how do you cross the street when you have fear of uncertainty and doubt? Man, the entire life is full of uncertainty and doubt. You do the best you can by controlling the risk that is in place. You know why you have uncertainty and doubt? Because you have no place to peg your risk. That's why you have uncertainty and doubt. Because you're trading something you have no idea what you're trading. That's why you have uncertainty and doubt. Right? You have no trading system. That's why you have uncertainty and doubt. Right? I have HODL, diamond hands. Okay? Although that's a joke. Diamond hands means you're going to die for the stock. Man, I die for my family members. I die for my stock. Right? Live for fight another day. Right? Sorry, my son's here. He's watching. He's the little kid with the headphones. That's my son. So, like, see, dad forces his son, 12-year-old son, to join a 2-hour call with him, right? You're like, what punishment did this guy deserve, diba? Sorry, what was I saying? Right? HODL, time in hands, right? Suicide for the wrong reasons. FOMO, what is FOMO? Okay, enlighten me with somebody with experienced FOMO before. Anyone want to share? Sharing time. Yeah. What is anyone experienced FOMO before? What is FOMO?
Sure.
Yeah, sorry, who's that?
Sir, I can share.
Sure. Okay, Marco, I like this. Enlighten us.
One of the rules I had before was no IPOs because for me I thought that they were overpriced. But then I got FOMO with Converge, and then we all know what happened on the first day of listing. So I had to sell from 15.6. I sold at like 13, I think. So yeah, I got fear of missing out with Converge's IPO.
Okay, excellent to know. All right. So most of the time, we have FOMO on the things that we. So normally, when does FOMO most light up for us? Anyone have an honest answer? When does FOMO light up the most for you? Okay, Gabriel, enlighten me when you say when stocks are flying.
It's like when you see a stock that's going up so high, you're like, oh my God, I need to be in that. Like, I want to be part of that. I want to make money. But then the moment you buy, it just stops or it just goes down.
Okay, why does that happen? So for all the other reasons that you're asking, right? Remember, so I shared this the other day, but you know, you guys all watch Infinity War, right? Right. I'm hoping everybody watch Infinity War, and you see that portion where Doctor Strange is like going, you know, he's having a seizure, diba? Right? And then Iron Man asks him, in 14 minutes, what did you do? Right? What were you doing? And he's like, I went through 14 million parallel universes or whatever dimensions, right? And just to see which ones we won, right? And his answer was 1. Okay. When you FOMO on something that went up by limit up the prior day or several days limit up, you ask yourself the same question. If I went through 14 million parallel dimensions or whatever it is, how many times would you have been mentally prepared to purchase that stock? Would you have been able to see it before it goes up? Would you be able to see it at the time that you felt like you wanted to purchase it in hindsight? So if your answer is 0, 1, the likelihood of you being able to catch that stock as it was going up is 0. And most of the time, that's the case. A lot of people come up to me and say, man, that stock went up 300%. Dapat nahuli natin yan. I look at it and I'm like, was there any possibility in any other dimension na would you have been mentally prepared to purchase that? And the answer is no. Why do you have fear of missing out on something that you would not have been mentally prepared to purchase? Why do you lose sleep? Right? I have FOMO on the stock that I was mentally to purchase that night. And for whatever reason, I didn't enter that order. Maybe because my son was bugging me to play board games with him or whatever it is. Right? And I didn't enter the order and it went up 2%. I'm mad. I'm frustrated. I'm like, I should have gotten that stock. That I have FOMO on because I should have been able to execute that order. But if you're going to have FOMO on something that you had no chance of getting, man, you have FOMO on everything. I wish I won the lottery. Man, I should have been able to pick that 6 numbers, right? Diba? Impossible. That's not in your control. Right? So, takes psychological, emotional mastery. Okay? And last one, the reason why many people learn trading systems, right? But unable to replicate the profits of the winning trader. So all the things that we talked about earlier, replication, ownership, right? Benchmarking, lahat yan. All of talk about trading psychology. Okay? All right, last slide. Okay, so, okay. So me, I follow my God, right? And in Proverbs 24:16. For a righteous man falls 7 times and rises again. What do we learn from this verse? It's not Dwayne Wade's fall 7 times, stand up 8, right? So what are we talking about here when we talk about for a righteous man falls 7 times and rises up 8? I'm gonna help enlighten me here. All right, I'm gonna call my son. Call, since I'm the only one that can pick on you here. Hey, Call, you have your mic?
Yes, Dad, why?
Okay, what does this mean?
I'm not 100% sure, but I think that because you fall so many times, that next time you know how to get up and do the right thing.
All right, so it's perseverance. It's understanding that life is full of setbacks. A lot of times we fall into setbacks and we give up, right? And you have to remember, the only kind of failure is the when you give up. That's the only kind of failure. Every time of setback is just a detour to your destination. Always remember that. Okay, so you have to carry the mentality that any setback, and life is about setbacks. Don't forget that. You cannot grow if you do not have setbacks. You cannot grow if you don't fall into difficulty. Right? Because you will inevitably make a mistake somewhere, somehow. 100% guaranteed you will make a mistake somewhere, somehow. And it's whether or not you're willing to make the adjustments to step forward in order for you to grow. Okay, so keep that mentality, right? Keep persevering, okay? And one day, and the objective is to be better tomorrow than you are today. All right? Okay, good. Okay, give me a 3-minute break, okay? And then we'll chat another, Q&A tayo. Okay, give me 3 minutes.
Hey everyone, so thank you to Lawrence for that. And thank you everyone again for attending all of the live sessions today. I hope you've learned a lot and enjoyed what the mentors have prepared for you. So we look forward again to seeing you guys on our next live seminar, which will be this Wednesday at 10 a.m. with Sir Charles Ang on numbers and narrative. So take care everyone, and we'll see you in 2 days.
Q&A, di ba?
Sorry, everyone in the Zoom call, please stay. That was just for the live Facebook stream.
Kala ko gusto mo na umalis eh.
You guys end the call already? Man, I just have to go to the bathroom, man. I'm getting old over here.
No, we just ended the live stream, so it's just us now.
Okay. Okay, you ended the live stream. Okay. Kawawa naman sila. Baka may gusto sila tanong.
Facebook group chat, so it's all good.
Okay. Sige. Game. What questions do you have for me?
Oo, nahiya na sila.
Ewan ko pa kayo nahiya. 2 oras at tayo nakikipagdaldalang. Ewan pa kayo nahiya sa akin. Wala na ngayon live stream eh. Wala na, pagod na ata sila sa akin. Wala? Nobody has a...
And may nagre-raise na.
Okay, sino yan? Okay, Marco. Enlighten me.
When you use qualitative measures for your trading system, how do you take out the subjectivity? So how do you make it objective all the time if you use qualitative measures?
So when you talk about the qualitative, normally we look at me personally, I'm a very realistic person. So in terms of scalability on a user end, like scalability on that front, that's how I would, like adoption, that one is where I would look at it. So like on a realistic level of adoption, how many people would actually use this product or purchase this item? That's how I would normally start. Kasi the problem with that is that everyone will say their product is nice for whatever reason. But you still have to be able to be realistic and say, do you think that in terms of adoption, this is something that's viable or not? And so an example would be like 3D printing in the past or augmented reality. So example, 3D printing. How many of you guys would actually purchase a massive 3D printer in your home? Anyone here would like to purchase a 3D printer in their home? Wala? Right? It's cool, right? Like you can make cones and stuff. Right? That's what it was before, right? You make it like 5 years ago. You buy a 3D printer to make combs, right? Diba? The 3D printing today is vastly different, diba? Right? But it's still expensive. It's still very niche, diba? Right? So there's still select use cases of it, but in terms of mass adoption, would it be something that you'd purchase? Diba? Versus, how many of you guys would like to buy a Tesla? Nobody? Nobody? Like, okay.
Mahal kuryente dito.
Ha? Mas
Mahal
mahal ang
kuryente
gasolina.
dito.
Mas mahal gasolina kaysa kuryente.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying in terms of adoption, right? If Tesla was available here, you had the ability to purchase it. Would you purchase? Would you like to purchase one, right? EG's like, of course, you know, that's the dream, right? So think about it in that manner, diba? Right? But most of the time, kasi when it comes to the qualitative side, it means that you can't use the quant portion. It means that most likely it's ridiculously expensive. And if it's ridiculously expensive, it doesn't, like, no matter the qualitative aspect of it, it doesn't make sense anymore. Diba? So normally what you're doing is you're trying to see if you can find a place to peg your risk and try to use technical analysis to get you out of there. Diba? Right, so that's the sticky point. Okay? Right, hope I answered that.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Gabriel, you had a question?
Yeah, hi. I just wanted to ask, like, what do you use to record your trades, or like, is there like a certain
Cheat,
platform
right?
you use, or you put it in Excel or something?
No, we cheat because we paid for a huge database on it, right? But normally what I like to do is I like to put it on PowerPoint. The reason why I like to put it on PowerPoint, of course, Excel is incredibly important. You need to have an Excel sheet. You need to be able to build your data analytics and whatnot. But why I like Excel is because I can see the things that numbers cannot show you. So do the trades all look alike? So when I scroll through my trades, kailan pare-pareho itsura nila lahat. Pag iba-iba itsura nila, something's wrong. Diba? So a lot of my traders, they have different trading styles. So what I do is I encourage them to like, normally what you'll do is you'll put it in chronological order, right? Whatever trade is first, ganyan, diba? For my traders, it'll be all the momentum trades all should look alike. All the duration trades should all look alike. Diba? So when you see it, pare-pareho itsura nila, hindi yung duration mo, may isa sa baba, isa na sa taas, isa na sa gitna, diba? Yung iba-iba, right? So when you visually, when I look at trades, if you ask how I review with sila Sheena and sila Jordan, it's pag tinignan ko pa lang, oversize ka dito. Parang nalaman ni Sirlon na oversize ako dito. Or ito, nag-cheating ka ng size mo, hindi mo sinize sa proper size. Paano niya alam yun? Right? It's because if you look at it visually, immediately you know whether there's a compromise somewhere, somehow. If it's just a number, you cannot see that. If it's just, oh, this guy made $300 here, I made $200 here, I lost $70 here, you cannot see the context of the price move without the actual chart. That's why it's important, right? Price can only, the final numbers can only tell you so much. But of course, numbers don't lie. Don't get me wrong, and numbers still don't lie. Okay, so that's an important context to understand. So it does take. That's why we built the database, because it's so much work, right? Diba? Gumastos na talaga ako kasi I feel like my traders, in order for them to grow, they have to be able to scale to this point. So PowerPoint is probably the most efficient, I think, or Google Slides, right? To the point nga, we have a database, some of my traders still use Google Slides, right? So kasi sanay na sila. Yeah. Other questions? Wala na? Pagod na kayo sa akin. What's my favorite color? Okay, it's green. Okay.
Boston.
Beat LA. Yeah, other hand. Alvin, what's going on?
Yeah. So you know how some rules have like exceptions. Are there exceptions to like any specific situation where you could break a trading system, or is it 100% follow it talaga?
When you are making an exception to the rule, you have to live with,
like
you have to
like
live
is there,
with the consequences.
so it's 100% follow talaga, sir.
Depends on the objective, right? You want to make a build a trading system, but you're going to make exceptions left and right, then what are you building, right? Right. When you make an exception, it has to be an exception because it's something that you're trying to account for in your current trading system. So you want it to be part of your trading system. That's why I would make an exception if I would ever make one, right? Diba? Kasi kung gagawa ka lang ng exception, kahit kailan pwede ka man gumawa ng exception. Right? And that's how I would see it. Diba? But remember, as you grow as a trader, eventually you have to have a complete trading system. Eventually. When you're beginning, you can begin with certain expertise, whether it's momentum or scalping or swing or whatever. Eventually, as you trade, you will realize every dog has its day. Every trading system has its benefits. Right? So there's no all blanket, I'm good every single time. No such thing. Okay, so keep that in mind. Yeah, Marco.
Sir, do you ever give up on trading systems? So like if for like 2 or 3 years, the trading system is unprofitable, when do you say it's time to, like, it stopped working already, it's time to switch?
We can't be in denial here. If my hit ratios are 20% every single time, something's wrong, right? Right? Like we can't be stubborn and in denial, right? You have to understand now, okay, my current trading system, the logic that goes into it is being questioned. Then you have to see whether or not it's something you want to work off of or you throw in the trash, right? It's pointless to continue to. What happens is that you keep hammering on something over and over again. Paulit-ulit ka lang, hindi ka natututo. What's the point? Right? At a certain point in time, you have to say, "Nah, okay, I'm moving on from this." Diba? Yeah. Gabriel, how you doing?
This is a question about like your trading. Has there ever been like a time where you blew up your account, or like as you said, you lost your pants? Has that ever happened to you?
I talk about this all the time. In 2005, 6, 7, I turned 800,000 into 10 million. So, siyempre, mayabang na ako. Diba? And in 2008, I turned 10 million into 900,000. So, happens. Okay, so what happened to me at that time was, as the markets were going up, markets were good. Bull market in 2005, 6, 7, after the tech bubble, Philippines was on fire. Maximizing margin, that's how you get to be able to grow your portfolio that way, right? So, syempre, tira ka lang ng tira. At the peak of markets, I sold everything. At the peak of the market, sold everything. Sabi ko, okay na to. Peak of the market, okay na to. So what I did, long term na ako. The peak of the market, wala akong mabili, di ko lang gagawin ko, nang bibilin ko. So sabi ko, long term na ako. So I put 10 million in cash, 5 million margin into one stock, all in into one stock. Can you guys guess what that stock is? COL Financial at 14.50. The best part about it is, nagahagis yung tatay ko, ako yung bumibili. Yeah. You know, you could really have saved my ass there, but you didn't. So by the time I got to 10, margin call na ako. The stock went all the way down to 288. Yeah. So it happens. We blew up my account. Yeah, absolutely, it happens. Learn my lesson. Right? So That's why when people ask me in my interviews and tell me, oh, I blew up my account last year, I go, great, that's 1 point for this guy. Because he blew up, he knows how painful it is to blow up his account, right? So it won't be at my expense. It'll be it was already at his expense. So it happens. It happens. It has happened. I do not want it ever to happen again. Right? But obviously there was no risk management at that time. There was nothing at that time. The trading system was just fire, 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 fire more. And we got lucky. I thought I was good, but I was lucky. Right? Yeah, so I hope that answered your question. Alvin, what you got?
Sir, should a person have only one trading system or one trading system per different market environment, per different strategy?
Yeah. Okay, follow-on question. Sorry, go.
And yeah, for example, for trend following, should you only have one trading system for that strategy, or could you have more than one?
I suggest a mastery, at least of one. You have to spend enough time to learn the nuances of a trading system. When to adjust to chase prices, where to adjust scratch zones, when to commit to eating the full losses, when to sell, scaling out, adjusting to scaling out, adjusting to different market environment and which market environment your core trading system is strong in. Eventually, you have to know all of the trading system eventually as you grow. But the mastery of it, you have to remember, when all hell breaks loose, you know where your core competency is. That's important. Because the moment that you don't know and all hell's breaking loose, mangyayari, sige, try natin to, sige, gawin ko yan. And then what happens is that you have no commitment to any of them. So your portfolio continues to deteriorate because you just keep shooting left and right. And not understanding where your trading system has a core competency. That's why nuance is important. Okay? Yeah?
Yeah, sir, sorry, just a follow-up question.
Sure.
So, yeah, you should master your trading system before trying out other stuff. But then, should you have a different trading system for a different strategy or for a different market environment?
You can. So example, it's hard to trade momentum in the Philippines. Kasi konti lang basura, di ba? Right? So it's hard because the choices are few. Right? That's one. Second, how do you scalp when there's a cost of doing business in the Philippines? Also very hard. Kasi may hurdle na dapat eh, diba? You have to be able to overcome the commission charge before you make money. So it's harder to scalp. Tama? Right? So there are certain nuances on certain markets that will force you to make adjustments per market. Absolutely. But again, keep in mind, by doing that, it's harder for you to learn and understand nuance because you're deviating per market. So parts of kasama sa sakit sa ulo, but that's how we have to live with it, right? Yeah. Other questions? Yep. Marco.
Sir, what do you think of leverage? Should we use it or not?
Okay, leverage is a double-edged sword. So Jordan loves this, right? So, we had a great conversation about using leverage the other day with him. Leverage is a very powerful tool. The problem with leverage is that it's a loaded gun. So how do I know? I talked about this the other day in the UP call where we talked about Forex, right? And we were working with this Forex company, and every quarter they would send a new guy. Sabi ko, bakit iba-iba yung account manager ko every single quarter? So that's the last guy, right? And he said, oh, the reason why is because the lifespan of our accounts is only 3 months. After 3 months, zero na daw yung mga account nila. So nangyayari, na-frustrate yung account manager, umalis na sila. How come? Because Forex is 100 times leverage. COL is 2 times leverage. Forex is 100 times leverage. So for those unknowing, they will go in with 100 times leverage in there now, and they'll use it all at once, right? If the forex pair moves 1% in against them, their account is zero instantly. 1% lang, huh? So it's giving these people who don't know how to use it a loaded gun. It's very dangerous. Now, if you do know how to use it, right, and you understand that the use case of it is to be able to expand your current portfolios in terms of market efficiency. So example, when markets are good, you can use it for short-term trades to be able to capitalize on the strength of the market. Absolutely. So it's used for short-term trading and to expand the your current exposure. It's good to use that. So example, us in CTS, margin is incredibly critical for us because we were able to use 4 times margin on our trading system in IB. Diba? So end of the day, normally we cut down naman eh. So we're down to 25% of our portfolio. Midday we can scale up to 400 times. Diba? So it gives us that flexibility, but we only use it for tactical purposes in short-term trading. So very powerful, but very dangerous. Okay? Yeah, other questions? Pagod na kayo sa akin. Okay, good. Okay, Ana? Don't worry, you'll see me again. I hope we will see you. I'll jump in some of the calls, and if you guys have questions for me, you can always, you can always blast them to me. All right. If you have other questions, my email is lawrence@ctsglobalgroup.com. I'll just type it in the chat. Okay, good. So welcome to our program. I hope you guys had a good first day, and hopefully we were entertained. You guys are entertained. There's a lot more in store. The other guys are very, like, these guys are the one thing that will separate my traders and these guys who will be teaching you versus other traders is that these guys are market practitioners. These guys are the ones directly in the trenches. They're not the guys that are watching YouTube videos and trying to sell you something. It's not work like that. These guys are entering orders, making mistakes, having to build personal adjustments to their own trading systems. Okay, and they are out of their own free will want to do their best to help as many of you guys as possible. All right, so don't forget that. Try to learn as much as you can. Keep an open mind. Ask as many questions as you can, and make as many mistakes as you can while you are here. I always tell that to my students at Calum, and we tell that to our interns. Make as many mistakes as you can, because the more mistakes you can unearth, you can ask the questions for other people who have made those mistakes in the past. And you can learn from them, so that hopefully you don't have to blow up your account like I did, or like Jordan did. Okay. All right. All right. Okay, last thing. Like I said at the beginning, and I will continue to say it. We do this because we want to do our best to help as many people as we can. And we hope one day, if you guys are empowered, equipped, that you can do your part to help as many people as you can as well. Right? This is our means of being able to build our own capital markets and grow our society. All right. So nice to meet you all, guys. Meet you all, and hopefully we continue to see each other again. I'll jump in some of the calls and chit chat with you guys, hopefully before any calls start, para hindi na sila mag-play ng ads para sa'yo. All right. Good luck. Nice to see you guys. You guys take care.
Sorry. Thank you, Lawrence, for that. But everyone, could you please stay for a few more minutes? I promise this will be quick. So we're just gonna break up into groups of 5 or 6, and then we're gonna introduce you, your teammates, your mentors for the entirety of the program, so you guys can get to know each other. Just a quick debriefing, say hi to each other, introduce yourselves, and yeah, so we'll just get into little breakout rooms. Just hold on for a second, please.
Yeah, they're in.
Binalik na tayo. Too bad. Magkakwento pa ako eh. Kwentuhan na kami. What happened? What happened?
Hello? Are all of you Are all of you through with your meetings? Everyone's met everyone, the teams, and yeah.
Beating si Jordan.
Yeah.
Okay. Just a reminder, all the mentors, please make a Viber group para hindi sila mahiya. Everyone just message if you have any questions. Please feel free. At any time, your mentors will be more than happy to assist you.
I emailed the interns for 2 Google Drives. One is for, we will upload the sessions there. One is for homeworks naman. Samples are uploaded there, and then you guys will upload your specific homeworks also there. So yeah, yun lang. Check na lang your email. So yun nga. Marami, check your emails regularly. Yun lang.
Okay. Thanks everyone for coming. It's been a long day. We'll see you all on Wednesday na.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you guys.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.
Thank
Can
you.
I ask lang? It's more of HR related. Like, kasi, I sent an email to yung HR at COL Financial. Tama naman, no? Kataon mo. Yung regarding yung documents ko lang para makredit yung OJT. Tama ba? Doon ko ba send yung email? Or...
Callhumanresource.com. Callhumanresource ba at gmail.com?
Hindi. HR at COL. Yung nag-email sa akin nung I think yung contract bar.
Sige. I will coordinate with HR na and talk about it. Pero we will be able to provide naman certificates and all.
Hindi, yung kasi yung concern kayo yung memorandum of agreement with LaSalle and yung CTS para ma-credit siya for yung
so ano kailangan mangyari?
I need you guys to help to fill some parts in, like sino yung signatory for instance and representative, mga ganun.
Sige, I'll ask HR to contact you. Baka they'll email, then check your email na lang. Okay?
Yeah, thank you.
Sige.
Thank you.
No problem. Bye guys.
Bye.